hello. For this math lesson, you will need a piece of paper. A white piece of paper would work best, like computer paper, but if you don't have that, you can always use a notebook or a loose leaf piece of paper. And then if you have a marker, that would work good. Otherwise, you can just use a pencil. That's fine too. So this week, we're going to be talking about measurement, similar to what we did last week, but now we're going to be talking about something called capacity. Capacity is liquid measurement. Now, last week we talked about measurement, but we talked about length. So inches, yards, feet, that's all measurement, but that's talking about length. Today we're going to talk about measurement and related to capacity, which means liquid measurement. So think about if you're measuring water, you need something that has a cup of water or a half a cup of water. That's capacity. It's the amount of liquid you're putting in something. So there's a couple different ways and things that you see and use every day where you use capacity or liquid measurement. So one of them is a gallon. So this most oftentimes we think about gallons as gallons of milk, like you see here. I'm sure you have these in your houses, or gallons of gas. For cars, we use gallons for liquid measurement. So to fill this, if I have milk in here and I'm going to say this is a gallon of milk. So that's one of the words, one of the things that we're going to be talking about when we talk about capacity or liquid measurement. Another type, now this can kind of come in different things like soda or water, but this is the size of something called a quart. And you need, if you would fill this up 4 times, let's say we do it with water, you fill it up with 4 times, and if you have these things at your house, you can try it. It would fill up the same amount as a gallon. So 4 quarts, so 4 about this size, you can get these at the gas station. Now this is something that I have around my house, but you can get these in soda or water bottles, but 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So these are different ways to measure capacity or liquid measurement. Another one is this. This is a pint. Now a pint, if I fill this up twice, it's filled up a little bit right now, but if I fill this all the way to the top twice, it would fill this quart 1 time. So you would need 2 pints to fill up a quart, 4 quarts to fill up a gallon, and these are different examples of how we measure capacity and liquid measurement. The last type is a cup. This probably looks familiar to you. Thinking about if you're making cake or brownies and the recipe calls for 1 cup of something. Now this is liquid measurement. So this is capacity if I'm filling up water or milk and I'm dumping it into something. This is 1 cup. Now, if you think about the milk that you drink at school, like those little cartons that you get, those are generally 1 cup. So it's about this, like poured into one of those cardboard little cartons. So this is 1 cup. Now, one other type of capacity or liquid measurement is called an ounce or a fluid ounce. Now, short for fluid ounce is FL and then OZ. OZ stands for ounce. So fluid ounce, there's 8 fluid ounces in here. Think about if you would fill this up with water, and if I said, can you drink this in 8 sips? Now, it doesn't mean that I'm getting this and drinking the entire thing, but if I would take a sip and then take another sip 8 times, that would be a fluid ounce. So it's kind of like a sip of water. It's not drinking the entire bottle, but a fluid ounce is just a small, I like to think about it as a small sip of something. So you need 8 fluid ounces for a cup. And then if I fill this twice, it would fill up a pint. If I fill the pint up twice, it would be the same amount as a quart. And then there's 4 of these, 4 quarts and a gallon. And you can always do that at home if you have these things. Fill this up with water, dump it in here, it would fill up 4 times. So at the beginning of this lesson, I wanted you to get out a piece of paper and also a marker or a pencil, because you're going to be kind of drawing this so you can visually see it. And then you're going to be answering some questions about it this whole week. So make sure that you keep this. The first thing I want you to do, and I did this already in advance so I could just show you, is I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to draw a large G on it like this. This is going to represent a gallon. So gallon is the largest type of liquid measurement that we talked about today. And that would be like your gallon of milk, gallon of gas. This would be a gallon. Then what I would like you to do, and if I'm going too fast, you can always just pause this and then catch up. Once you have your G, then I want you to put 4 large Q's inside. And the Q's stand for quarts. So make sure that they take up, they're pretty big because you're writing something inside of them. And this all is taking up the whole paper because you're not going to be writing anything else on the outside, just on the inside. So this is showing me that 4 quarts equal a gallon. And we talked about that this is a quart, this is a gallon. If I fill this up 4 times, it would fit into here. The next thing that I'd like you to do, so we did gallons, we did quarts, we're gonna do pints. So now, inside of each one of those Q's, I want you to write a P, just like I did here. So this is showing that there's 2 pints in each quart. Now you can also look to see how many pints then would be in an entire gallon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I filled this up 8 times, it would be the same capacity or the same liquid measurement as a gallon. The last one then, I want you to put a C, 2 C's inside of each P. So remember the P's are pints, which is this. There are 2 cups, so 2 of these in each pint. So I have C, 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 C. That's what you're going to do. Remember, if I'm going too fast, which I might be, you can always pause this. But once you have this done, I want you to save this because you're going to be using this for some problems we'll be doing this week. But this gives you a good idea of what is inside of a gallon. A gallon is the largest liquid measurement or capacity we talked about. But I could ask you, how many pints are in a gallon? You could just count the P's. How many cups are in a gallon? How many pints are in a quart? All of this gives you just a picture of what is inside of a gallon, and we'll talk about it more this week. Now, we also did talk about fluid ounces, and that there's 8 in each cup. So there would be 8 in each one of these. So in a pint, there would be 16, because 8 plus 8 is 16. So I want you to hang on to this. I want you to put it in a safe place because we'll be using it for some problems this week in math. But attached to this email, I would like you to answer questions about some of the things that we talked about today. Now, you had a worksheet like this last week when we started talking about measurement, but it's going to show you a picture of something. It might show you a picture of a pool, a bathtub, something that you use for capacity or liquid measurement. And you're going to have to estimate about how much do you think would be in there. It's multiple choice like how the other one is. So attached to this email, you'll have to open up the document and it looks like a worksheet, and then you'll have to answer the questions in the email. So if you have any questions about that or you're not clear on something, you can rewatch this video. You can use this to help or think about the things that I talked about. And then hopefully you'll be able to just take estimates about how big you think that those would be in terms of capacity. Thank you.